Okay, let me type in my good morning in here. All right, I am in. I've just typed in my good morning. It is February the 16th, the middle of the month. Good morning, and good morning. Sitting here enjoying my coffee. I'm looking at the snow flurries outside my window, but it's all good. So as you come on this morning, Paula, good morning. Good to see you, Paula. You're up early. Listen at me. Like you're not up early a lot. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Stephanie Davis, good morning. Janice Taylor, good morning. Ladies, good to see you. Good to be seen. Happy Sunday morning. It is good to be here another Sunday. Thank you so much for getting up and joining me this morning. It is all good. It is February the 16th. Angela's on. Good morning. Carolyn's on. Good to see all you ladies this morning. We are in the middle of February. It's cold here in Chicago, wherever you are. I hope you're staying warm. Ruth said, happy stormy weather Sunday, y'all. Good. Good to see you, Ruth. Yes, again, I'm looking at snow flurries outside my window, and it's supposed to be really cold in Chicago starting tomorrow for the next 2 to 3 days. But it is winter time, and we are in Chi-Town, so I guess it's expected. So, good morning, ladies. Again, thank you for getting up and joining me. Appreciate it. It's another Sunday morning. Good to be seen. I have my coffee. Yeah, so it's a good day. And just to remind you, and hopefully I'll remember to do it at the end, I am not going to be here next Sunday. I am getting out of town on Tuesday, going to enjoy a few days in the sun. And I couldn't have picked a better time to do it because starting tomorrow is supposed to be bitter cold in Chicago, at least for 3 or 4 days. Stephanie Nichols, good morning. Marie, good morning. So my timing is great to be able to get out of here for a few days and enjoy some sunshine. Dr. Cornelius, good morning. Good morning to all of you ladies and I'm grateful to have you joining me this morning. Having my coffee this morning and looking out the window at the snow and thinking how excited I am to be able to get on a plane on Tuesday morning to go and enjoy a little bit of sunshine. So I'm really looking forward to it. Good morning, Ubam. Janice says, wonderful. Enjoy, Regina. Good morning. Um, Ladies, again, I am so glad that you got up to join me this morning because I have a lot to talk about. I do. I've been having some amazing aha moments as it relates to growth, and I've been sharing them with you. So I am glad that you're here this morning because I have a lot to share. I've been studying, my own emotions and trying to articulate what I'm feeling, how I'm responding. And I've been sharing this with you over the last 3 to 4 weeks, and I'm going to continue to do it today. So it's been amazing because we started the beginning of the year talking about showing up for ourselves in 2025. And it's really about authenticity, being your authentic selves. And we talked about mindset. We started off talking about establishing a mindset. And then we talked about crossroads a little bit because some folks at the beginning of the year may be at a crossroad deciding what it is that they really want to focus on. And then we started talking about obstacles. We've talked about fear. We've talked about self-imposed limitations. We've talked about vulnerability. And I'm going to continue to talk about obstacles today. And this all stemmed from me being my authentic self, being the best version of myself in 2025. But when I announced that I would be launching this 1 Million Women, 1 Million Steps initiative, which I am going to launch, just so you know, not February, but in March, because it's March, Women's History Month. But when I decided that I was going to do that and really focus on being all in 2025, so many different emotions started to show up. And what I've done is just taken the time to understand the emotions. And I've been sharing this with you And it's amazing what I've learned about myself. It's amazing what I've learned about the different emotions that we experience that controls us. And if you're like me, I couldn't even put the name to all of them. I just knew I was going through this period of discomfort. So, as a result of it, I started investigating, digging, researching, spending time with myself, trying to really understand what I've been experiencing to the extent where I can articulate the emotions. And that's what I've been sharing with you. So, I'm hoping that you have been able to take what I've been sharing and apply it to your own lives. Maybe you're not going through something at this point, but maybe you have in the past, and you know life is always going to teach us by challenging us. So if you're not going through something now, eventually you will, because that's how we grow and that's how we learn. So I want to continue the conversation today about obstacles and what's really holding us back. You know, we talked again about fear, we've talked about limitations. Last week we talked about vulnerability. So, who can guess what we're going to talk about today? Now, if you're like me, I had an aha moment when I started thinking about another obstacle or emotion or discomfort that I was experiencing. I'll tell you what it is, right? It is resistance. Today, we're going to talk about resistance. Because here's the thing, when we can articulate what's holding us back or the discomfort or the emotion that we're experiencing, then we know how to respond to it. And that's what's been an amazing aha moment for me. So think about it. So, one of the biggest challenges that we face when we are experiencing growth, I'll put it that way, when we're going beyond our comfort zone, is resistance. And resistance is the invisible force that keeps us stuck, hesitant, or avoiding action. It doesn't always feel like fear, but it stops us from moving forward just the same. And it's powerful because it operates, right, beneath the surface, just like we talked about vulnerability last week. And it can keep us from showing up for ourselves. Good morning, Cheryl. Now, resistance, and I had to take some careful notes because I really want to share this with you because like I said, it's been an amazing journey. If nothing else happens beyond this, I've learned so much about obstacles and about myself and how I've responded. And hopefully, by me sharing this with you, you will be able to use it, when you're experiencing growth. So, resistance is different because it's the hidden, silent force that keep people from following through. That's the difference from following through. Remember that. So remember I said fear sneaks in like a thief trying to steal our power with doubt and worst case scenarios? But resistance is even sneakier. It disguises itself as logic, making us hesitate even when we know what to do. So it disguises itself as logic, making us hesitate even when we know what to do. So resistance can keep us from following through. It disguises itself as busyness, logic, or even waiting for the right time. We convince ourselves now, if you can relate to any of this during this conversation, just give me some thumbs up. Let me know you're listening to me. Let me know that you've experienced this also. We convince ourselves that we're waiting for the right time. doing more research, or making a smart decision, when in reality, we're just avoiding discomfort. Remember, it keeps us from following through. Thank you, Marie and Stephanie. And this is why it's been such an amazing um, few weeks just sitting and being still and understanding, Eva, what are you going through? Because I've shared with you, how I've just had to stop and be still. So resistance doesn't always show up as fear. Thank you, ladies. It can disguise itself as procrastination. I'll do it later. Resistance, right? Overthinking. I need more time to plan. Resistance, right? Waiting for the perfect time. It has to be just right before I start. Resistance, right? Logic. Maybe I should play smaller and start with something safer. Resistance. Busyness. I don't have time right now. Resistance. And as I started thinking about this and just recognizing resistance, I was like, wow, I wish I'd known this years ago, though. I really wish I was in the position to articulate these obstacles years ago, because now I'm learning. But I guess timing is everything. It's the right time because I'm experiencing all of these emotions. But I was experiencing these emotions too when I felt stuck and started seeking my life purpose. I wish I had known then. Resistance feels reasonable, but is actually a defense mechanism. I was like, wow, now that resonated with me. It's a defense mechanism. It keeps us in our comfort zone even when we want more. Now I said, you're talking to me, Eva. I understand it. And it shows up in different ways. And it's not always about fear. So there's fear based resistance, avoiding risk or discomfort, fear of failure. What if I fail? We've talked about that. That's fear based resistance. Fear of rejection. What if they don't accept me, right? Fear of being seen. What if I'm judged? And fear of success. But then there's the non fear based resistance, which is really the emotional defense mechanism. Comfort zone. This is how I've always done it. So I resist change, right? Comparison. I'm not as good as them, so I don't try. Defense mechanism, right? Perfectionism. I have to be ready first, so you keep delaying it. Defense mechanism, right? Lack of clarity. I'm not sure what I want, so I don't commit to action. And then there's guilt. Now, so many of us, especially women, feel this. Defense mechanism. It's resistance, though. What if I'm being selfish? So I put others first and avoid my own goals. Now, I know there's so many women here that are mothers and partners and sisters and friends, and I know you can relate to that one. What if I'm being selfish? You want to do something for yourself, but defense mechanism, fear, non fear based resistance. What if I'm being selfish? You talk yourself. Remember, it shows up, resistance shows up as logic. Remember that. It shows up as logic and it keeps you from following through. And why it's so important to understand all of these obstacles, emotional discomfort, because how you label it determines how you respond to it. And I know, had I not been feeling so much discomfort and I thought it was fear, but and then I started thinking it's more than just fear. So I started this journey of, okay, understanding the discomfort and the emotions. And it's been so powerful. And if we misinterpret what we're experiencing, we choose the wrong response and it keeps us stuck instead of moving forward. So when I started having all of these discomforts, I was like, you have to really understand what's going on. And remember, I'm bringing you with me this year. So everything I'm experiencing and learning, I'm sharing, I'm bringing you with me. So when you think about it, if you've been delaying, procrastinating, hesitating, or playing small, I want you to think, is this a defense mechanism to keep you from following through? It's internal though. Our obstacles are self-imposed. And here's the thing. We have all of the answers within. And that's one of the things I learned along this journey when I was seeking my purpose and I was looking outside. I realized that I had all the answers within. And that's what made me stop and really trying to understand the emotions, what I was experiencing. So think about it. Resistance manifests in various ways, often disguised as procrastination, excuses, avoidance, or overanalyzing. So here are some ways: procrastination and avoidance. I'll start when I'm ready. That's what we say. I just need more time before I take action. Overthinking and self-doubt is another one. What if this doesn't work? I need to plan every detail before I begin. Perfectionism and fear of judgment. If I can't do it perfectly, then I won't do it at all. What if people criticize me? How many times have you said that to yourself? Busyness and distraction. I'm too busy right now. I have too many responsibilities. Defense mechanism, resistance. Think about it. Emotional discomfort and self-sabotage. I don't feel motivated today. This is too hard. Maybe it's not meant for me. And the whole comfort zone mentality. I've always done it this way. I'm not sure I'm ready for that kind of change. I saw myself, oh my God, feeling so many, having so many feelings of discomfort that I just had to go deeper. So either it's not just fear, because in my mind, I've always associated discomfort with fear. But I knew now was the time I had to break it down. So resistance is a self-imposed internal battle between where we are and where we want to be. And here's the thing that got me. It happens when our subconscious mind fear change. We're protecting ourselves from discomfort. We doubt our own abilities or worthiness. Remember, there's a conscious mind, that's the captain. The subconscious mind is the crew. So when the captain sends the order to the crew, the subconscious mind, this defense mechanism, especially when it's doing something different or going beyond your comfort zone or following through. Because the subconscious mind says, no, we're used to doing it a certain way. And it's trying to protect us. Now, when I started thinking about that, again, that resonated with me. I've learned so much because this all stemmed from 2025, being my authentic self, changing one evolution to Eva M. Kennedy coaching, Eva M., Eva May. And then what had been placed on my heart in 2022 said now is the time to do it. And it's that 1 Million Women initiative, 1 million women, 1 million steps. Again, I'm going to launch it next month because it's Women's History Month. And that's when all of these emotions started to kick in. Oh my God. And I'm thinking it's fear to the point where if I didn't recognize how strong the discomfort was, it could have paralyzed me to the point that I could have just axed it and said, no, I'm not going to do it. Right? And now, even when I looked at fear and I looked at limitations and I looked at vulnerability, I was still feeling some kind of way. So I said, there's got to be more. And remember, the little voice was trying to say, maybe I should start with 1,000 instead of 1,000,000. So all of these doubts are going through my head. What are you doing? Can you do this? And then one discomfort would show up. I'd look that, I'd steer that in the face, and then another one. And it got to the point I was like, you need to clearly understand all of the emotions. Started to realize it's more than just fear. But I could articulate fear because I'm familiar, because I've named and labeled everything as fear, but it had to be more. And that's what started me down this whole path. So resistance disguises itself as logic. So me saying not do 1,000,000, but maybe 1,000, that's logical. But it's trying to keep me small when I know what was placed on my heart was so much bigger. How many times have you experienced that? If you think about it now and all the obstacles I've been talking about, how many times have you experienced resistance, but you couldn't even or didn't know how to label it? In your mind, it was just fear. How many of you can relate? You have to give me a thumbs up. So resistance is not a stop sign. It's a sign, again, that you're on to something powerful, because otherwise, why would all these emotional feelings be showing up, right? So I thought about this whole 1,000,000 versus 1,000, and I started thinking, why is this just not self doubt and limitation? So I had to break it down a little further. So self doubt questions your ability, limitations believe you're not capable of or deserving, resistance creates hesitation, avoidance, or rationalization. Sorry about that, to stay small. So I said, okay, now I'm experiencing resistance, right? So I'm thinking maybe if I start with 1,000 instead of 1,000,000, that's not necessarily self doubt, right? Because I believe in the mission. And it isn't necessarily a limitation because I actually haven't hit an actual barrier yet, but instead is resistance disguised as logic. It's making the path seem smaller and safe to keep me in my comfort zone. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm experiencing. So, because if it was just self doubt, it would be, I'm not sure if I'm capable, doubting my ability. If it was limitation, then it would be, well, I don't have the resources to impact 1,000,000, right? Believing in external. Because this is resistance, it sounds like maybe I should scale down to 1,000, creating a logical reason to stay safe. I said, that's it. That's it. So why does all this matter? Because resistance can keep us from expanding into our full potential. And it doesn't mean you don't believe in yourself. It just means your subconscious is trying to keep you safe and in a space that feels safe, even when you're ready to go bigger. I was like, wow. Here's the key though, recognizing all of these obstacles for what they are. Think about it. Recognizing all of these obstacles for what they are help you to respond to them the right way. Think about it. Because when you can name it, you know how to respond to it. So this whole 1,000,000 women, 1,000,000 steps, whether I launch it or not, but I'm going to, I've already learned so much about obstacles and about myself. So here's the thing. Self-doubt sneaks in first. You question your ability. That doubt turns into resistance, avoidance, delaying, hesitating. So it's always powerful when you understand the obstacle and name it and know how to respond to it. So I truly had to understand resistance to help me move forward because I was still feeling some very strong discomfort. And it's been so important for me to be able to articulate all of the obstacles and the emotional feelings that I've been experiencing. So resistance can look like fear, self-doubt, or limitation, but at its core is trying to hold you back from stepping into your full power. Again, all of this, the key is to recognize it so it doesn't stop you. All of the emotions I've been talking about. So let's talk about how to overcome it and move forward. Identify it. First of all, awareness. Awareness is the beginning of everything. You have to be aware and acknowledge, right? Identify it. Ask yourself, am I avoiding this because I'm scared or am I resisting change? Call it what it is. If it's fear, acknowledge it. If it's limitations, acknowledge it. If it's vulnerability, acknowledge it. If it's resistance, challenge it because it will stop you from following through. Am I capable? Yes. Do I have the ability? Yes. And then just take one small step. The way to weaken resistance is to move forward even if it's uncomfortable. And instead of saying, I'm not ready, reframe it and say, I'm stepping into something bigger. And just remind yourself, I'm capable. Own your power because you do have the power to create whatever it is you desire. So, yes, all of these obstacles create discomfort. Are they all fear? Not exactly. Fear is just one piece of the puzzle. Fear is about protection from perceived danger. So the other one, resistance, vulnerability, limiting beliefs, stem from deeper emotional and psychological patterns, but are not always directly fear-based. But they're all emotional. And that's what I was experiencing. So that's what started me on this whole journey, trying to understand the discomfort. Yes, they are all emotionally driven because they trigger feelings of uncertainty, discomfort, and self-protection. However, each one manifests differently. So I'm just going to go through these quickly. Fear, the body's natural response to danger or uncertainty. It's about protection. What if I fail? Stops you from taking action. Fear, right? And you can have anxiety, panic, worry. I was experiencing that. Resistance is a hidden force that disguises itself as logic or busyness. It keeps you in your comfort zone without you realizing it. Example, maybe I should wait until I'm more prepared. Delayed reaction, right? Hesitation, avoidance, frustration. I was feeling all of those things. Vulnerability, the emotional discomfort of being seen, exposed, or stepping into uncertainty. It's not about the danger, it's about taking a risk. Example, what if people judge me? It's that fear of emotional exposure. And you can feel shame, uncertainty, right? Think about it. Limiting beliefs, deep-seated beliefs that make us feel incapable or unworthy. And hey, limiting beliefs can keep us from moving forward and expanding as well. Example, who am I to do this? And that can stop you from believing in yourself. I experienced that. Who do you think you are? Right? So, why does all of this matter? Again, because how you label your emotions determines how you respond. So, if you misinterpret fear, right, you might avoid action entirely. If you misinterpret resistance, you might think your hesitation is logical. So by me saying, yeah, step it down to 1,000, I'm thinking that's logical. I'm playing it small and I'm playing it safe. When I know in reality that's not what was placed on my heart. And if you misinterpret vulnerability, you may see it as a weakness instead of strength. And vulnerability is a strength. If you misinterpreted limiting beliefs, you might believe they're the truth rather than a mindset to change. So here's the deal. Resistance keep you hesitant, stuck in hesitation. Limiting beliefs convince you that you can't. Vulnerability makes you feel exposed. So each of these can hold you back in different ways. And of course, fear, it's not a stop sign, but it's a sign. Fear wants you to stay status quo to protect you. But each of these can hold you back in different ways. And I am so grateful for this journey. I am so grateful to experience these emotions because it just helps me grow. It helps me understand what is going on because now that I understand the emotion, I can name it and I know how to respond to it accordingly. And that's been so powerful. Number one, just naming them. Everything I've said, limiting beliefs, vulnerability, fear, everything I've said, we all know what they are, right? But I don't know if you're like me, you were able to actually articulate the discomfort that I was feeling. Because in my mind, I'm thinking it's just fear. I didn't think about vulnerability. I didn't think about limiting beliefs. I didn't think about resistance. And this is the whole purpose of sharing because when you recognize it, you name it, you respond accordingly. So if it's fear, acknowledge it, but don't let it stop you. Fear is uncertainty, not a stop sign. If it's self doubt, remind yourself that worthiness isn't something you earn, it's something you own. You own it. If it's a limiting belief, challenge the thought. Ask, is this really true? Or is this just an old story that I've been telling myself? If it's vulnerability, step forward with courage. Because step outside of your comfort zone is where real transformation happens. So the moment you stop letting these hidden barriers, challenges, emotions define your choices, you take control of your life. So understanding them help you respond accordingly so that you can continue to move forward. And all of these barriers, right, they're self-imposed and they come from within, shaped by our past experiences, conditioning, and subconscious programming. But here's the thing. This is the good news, right? Because they're self imposed, we also have the power to break through them. And that's what I've been working on these last 4 to 6 weeks. Feeling the discomfort, understanding the discomfort, responding to the discomfort so that I can continue to move forward. So, what I want you to think about when you are going through this growth period, I'm going to call it the challenging season, I want you to be able to name it, the discomfort you're feeling, then I want you to be able to respond to it and then keep going. Fear says be careful. Limitations say you can't. Vulnerability say be seen. Resistance say stay small. So remember to reframe it, whatever challenge or obstacle you're feeling, and keep going. So when fear says be careful, you say fear is just uncertainty. I can take the next step anyway. When limiting beliefs say you can't, you say, who says? I get to write my own story. Put some attitude in there with it, right? Vulnerability says, don't be seen. You say, being seen is where my impact begins. Resistance say, stay small. You say, if I feel resistance, it means I'm on the edge of something powerful. That's it. Another obstacle that if you're experiencing it, you can name it, reframe it, and keep it moving. And just remember, every obstacle is self-imposed. And that's why I had to stop and be still each time. But what's so interesting, I would name one, and then I was like, okay, let's reframe it, let's keep going. And then another discomfort would show up. So I was like, okay, you have to go a little bit deeper because something else is going on here. So if you're feeling the discomfort because you've decided 2025, I'm showing up for me. 2025, I'm going to pursue whatever it is I desire. 2025, I won't quit. And you're starting to feel a flurry of discomfort like I was. Hopefully, this is meaningful. It's meaningful to me just to share it with you because it was so amazing each time I looked at, okay, Eva, what is really going on here? And I sit and I'd be still and I'd go deeper, go within, because remember, these are all self-imposed. It just made me stronger. And I can't wait. I couldn't wait to share it with you. I was so excited. You should have seen me yesterday. I'm like, that's resistance, Eva. You got this. Keep it moving. 1 million women, 1 million steps. Even if I don't launch it at this point, I've already grown tremendously. I've learned some things about myself that I didn't know. The only thing is I wish I'd known them sooner, but timing is everything, you know? Now, obviously, was the right time for me to learn it so that I could continue to move forward, but not only that, to be able to share it. So whatever is going on, if you are experiencing discomfort like I was, go back, listen to the messages. Is it fear? Is it vulnerability? Is it limitations? Is it resistance? And the moment you realize what challenge or what obstacle you're facing and you can name it, that's when you realize that you can do it. You can keep going. Because here's the thing, it helps you realize that you hold the power. And when you know that, everything changes, right? So even all these emotions that I've been experiencing, it just made me go deeper. And as a result, I'm stronger. I kept you ladies again too long, but it's been such a powerful journey and the information, what I've been learning, I just wanted to take my time to be able to share it with you. So any comments? And then there's a couple of things I need to share. Paula, thank you. How can you share this? Help launch your 1 million. This is that message. We hear it today. Actually, if I download this and put it in YouTube, you can share it. You can, because you can't share it from here because it's a private group. But I will download it and put the link to the YouTube in here if you want to share it. But here's the thing, ladies. I just want you to know that if you really want to do something for yourself and all of these emotions have been showing up, or emotions and the discomfort has been showing up, take the time to work through them, because you deserve to live an amazing life. You deserve to show up for yourself. You deserve to do, be, and have whatever it is you want. And I am so grateful to you for showing up and listening to me, allowing me to share it with you, because this strengthens me, right? And like I said, I am going to launch 1 million women, 1 million steps in March. And right now, I'm still working through um, whether I'm going to do it virtually or in person. I really want to do something in person. Um, and here's the deal, I have put March 15th on my calendar. So just put that on your calendar tentatively, especially the folks that are in this area. So I put that on my calendar for March 15th to do something in person. And then I'm still working through some of the other details, but I'm definitely launching in March, Women's History Month. I'm excited about it, and I've already grown, just the mere fact of feeling these levels of discomfort and doing the research to understand the emotions and working through them. So I will not be here next Sunday. I am headed out to enjoy a few days off. So I will see you back here in 2 weeks. And when I'm back in 2 weeks, I'll have the launch information for you. But just for now, just put March 15th for an in-person event. And I'm sure I'll do something virtual. But be patient with me, because I'm growing and learning. Paula, thank you so much for the encouraging words. Paula, you said this is my message, resistance. Thank you, Angela. I appreciate that. Paula, you said this is your launch message. Now, I'm going to tell you, when I'm back, Paula says I'm on fire today. Thank you. When I'm back, there's one more that I want to talk about, and then we're going to wrap it up, the obstacles, because there are a lot of obstacles, but these are the ones that I think we experience the most that we don't even recognize. So I'm back. I think that's the first Sunday in March. I believe it is. There's one more obstacle that I want to share, and then I'm going to wrap all of this up. And then we're going to leap into the 1 million women, 1 million step initiative. I had to slow down for a minute to get that right. But please put March 15th and just write tentative on your calendar. And we're going to do this. And I'm excited to have you on this journey with me. Again, ladies, I apologize for keeping you so long, but this was so important and such a major breakthrough for me. And I'm thinking, if I can just share this and help one person, then I've done my job. Love and blessings to you and your family. Stay warm. See you here in 2 weeks. And I appreciate you. Stay safe.